So, my dude, so we got some pretty interesting information for MX versus ATV All Out, and if you guys follow their Instagram page, you'd probably already know this by now, but I'm just making a little video on this for some of the people that haven't seen it, and it is kind of up for a lot of speculation. Some people might have more information than me. I don't really know, right? Like, I haven't just totally went in there and tried to, like, fully discover and try to research and figure out every little thing. I just saw their little Instagram video and I'm making a video on it here. So basically in the video, it's a really short, like, I don't know, 5-10 second clip, and in the caption it says that fans have been asking for this for like 10 years and we're finally going to bring it to you. And it pretty much just, I can't actually show it in this video because I obviously don't want to get copyright romped, and got to be a little careful with that. So, but it's really easy to explain the video to you. But if you want to go look at it, you can go to their Instagram page, just MX versus ATV, I think. So basically what it does is it starts off with, like, it shows this two-stroke kind of just sitting there, you know, bring, ding, 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 like that on the ground, and then it's just like slowly panning out, and it pans out into this like super woodland kind of environment, and you can kind of see these little trails sort of irking off in the distance, right? It looks like, I mean, I don't know, surely to goodness this is what they meant by that, and they didn't just mean like updated two-stroke sounds. Surely to goodness this is bigger than that, right? Because they make it seem bigger than that, or like surely it's bigger than just like some just certain kind of bike or something like that. It's got to be bigger. It's got to be like a big sort of track kind of DLC. But if you really pay attention to the trails that kind of warp off in the distance that you can see right as soon as it pans out at the very end of it, it looks like legit, like actual enduro hair scramble kind of trails to it, bro. Like probably some of the best I've ever seen just from the outside look of it. Kind of similar to the MXGP Pro little trail freeride track, kind of similar to that, maybe a little bit tighter from what I'm seeing. So yeah, basically what it's saying is we're probably going to be getting some sort of trail style DLC update for MX versus ATV All Out. So, yeah, apparently somebody's hearing me or something, because I like just got done talking about that in a video, and then here we go, bro. I just find it to be funny how it's like I'm like speaking things into existence out here, but it's so cool to see that. Like, if that really is what it is, hell yeah, dog. This is exactly what you need to be doing. MX versus ATV. It's cool stuff like this. I mean, this is what people want in the games. This is one missing aspect to MX versus ATV All Out, is the trail aspect to it, right? And actually having real trails, right? Like even Reflex. I know I'm a Reflex lover and little circle jerk over Reflex all the time, but like Reflex doesn't even have real trail tracks to it. It doesn't. And I'm not talking about custom PC. I'm talking about, you know, default, what came with the game kind of thing. Those Enduro open cross tracks, they're like a trail track, but they're way too wide. There's none of that, like, you know, grazing up the trees and hand guards bouncing off the trees and like realistic enduro hair scramble trails. There's none of that in Reflex. Even though I think it's the best arcade motocross game, there's no real trails in it. They kind of had something like trails, but not 100% like it. So this is something I feel like we've all wanted for a long time, and I think that's what they mean by, you know, this is something the fans have been asking for like 10 years or whatever and still haven't gotten it. It's the real trail, something that really feels like a true trail, tight in the trees type of feeling to it. You know, crossing over little rivers, little lakes, little ponds and rocks and logs and hill climb sections, and that's really what I think of when I think of trails. You know, I'm not saying the whole trail has to be right beside trees, but just some of it, you know, at least have some of that going on, instead of, like, it seemed like a lot of the trails in a lot of these modern day motocross games, the trail will literally be like as wide as a supercross track or maybe a little bit more narrow than a supercross track, you know, but it's like, that's too wide, man. Trail tracks are supposed to be like a fourth wide of that. It should be like about maybe 2 bike lengths width-wise for the width of a trail track in some areas of it. So that's the whole thing. You don't get my words twisted, because a trail track, you can have spots that open up really wide. You can have like, it can go from like 1 bike length wide to 10 bike lengths wide, going up a uphill hill climb section. If any of you guys have seen the Auldridge, or however you say it, hair scramble like GoPro videos on YouTube and stuff, That's basically exactly what I'm talking about. You could obviously have it maybe a little less like extreme for some of the tracks. It could be more standard trail, hare scramble type of tracks, but that's really what I'm talking about. Like, it'd be so cool to see like a Riesenberg sort of replica track, like super long, you know. It'd be hard to make it that long where it's like hour-long lap times. That'd be insanity if they was able to make something like that, but we'll see, man. It could simply just be a free ride trail kind of compound, like MXGP Pro could be like that. I'm not exactly sure, but I get the feeling like it's more than that, just by the way that they're kind of putting it off. But yeah, dog, out here like making a video like, dude, we really need some real trail tracks, and like not a week later, it's like MX versus ATV comes out this Instagram video like panning out, like showing trail tracks, like, we know you guys have been wanting this. It's just, oh my god, man, it's so cool. Like, if you ever get to the level of where you actually have a voice on YouTube, and you know, you can give your opinion on these games, and I'm not saying they just saw my shit and then wanted to go in there and make that. Obviously not. Like, right, they can't make a a full DLC in a week like that. That's not what I'm saying. I'm just saying the push of all of us YouTubers that really give our true opinions, and we don't just sit back and accept every little thing that these motocross games give to us, and never disagree with anything, and never push back against and say, oh, that's not enough content, or oh, that's too high of a price for DLC, or oh, why the fuck are you even putting bike DLC, all that kind of stuff, right? If none of us YouTubers ever said any of that, they would never try to improve, man. They would never try to make things better. Like, you got to understand that. When I'm out here voicing my opinion on this stuff, I'm just trying to make the games better. That's all I'm doing. So many people get it confused, especially with the milestone games. They think I'm just like some hater and trying to destroy the games and trying to not make them last. Like, listen, dog, this is what I do. This is what I do every day. I play these motocross games. I make videos on these motocross games. Like, this is my life, bro. Do you honestly think I'm trying to, like, kill a motocross game? Or I'm trying to make it go away or whatever? No. I'm trying to make it better. I'm having to disagree, and sometimes, quite aggressively disagreeing with certain things and certain amounts of content in games and stuff. Like, for instance, coming out with a game that doesn't have Supercross and Motocross in the same game, I'm going to massively go against that, because that's not the right amount of content, in my opinion, for a motocross game. And at the end of the day, it's just my opinion, but you got to understand, all I'm trying to do is make the games better. All I'm trying to do is make it to where more people want to play these games, more people want to get into these games, more people feel like they're getting more content for more bang for their buck, And the whole DLC bike thing in MX vs. ATV All Out, I think they should have just put those bikes in from the get-go. Shouldn't have made you even pay for it, right? And all that kind of stuff. Just think about that, though. Think about if they would have just put that in there, or if the Official Monster Energy Supercross game would have had a full motocross series to it as well. Then think about how much more people would be playing those games. Or if MXGP Pro had a track editor, just think about how much more people would love those games if they had that in them, and how much more they would want to play them, and how much more longevity it would give to those games, and all that. That's what I'm trying to push when I say stuff like that. Or I'm saying, dude, where's the raceable trail tracks? Like, where are they at? It's because I want them to make their games better, so that us motocross fans can get more out of it. We can enjoy it more. And some of the people that aren't like fully into motocross games, they're like, oh man, this is a lot of content for a game, right? Or, oh man, I can ride on a real life Yamaha that I didn't have to pay, $3 real for. That's sick, bro. Like, certain stuff like that. That's what I'm trying to get across when I say that. So, got to be careful when you get my words twisted, man, because it's not a hater mentality. It's not a trying to destroy motocross games, man. I love motocross games. I love every single motocross game that's ever came out in the history of ever. Trust me, dog. I've got a deep-rooted love for this shit. Why else would I be doing it every day? Like, people are just so silly. The ones that act as if I'm just like some random hater and I just played this game once and like, oh, fuck that. I don't even understand motocross games. It's like, you idiot. If you just understand the amount of hours I put into this stuff, dude. Like, I get it. I get what motocross games are about, dog. I do it all the time. So, either way, man, this whole trail thing's going to be sick if it's really what I'm thinking it could potentially be. So, and then you got to think about the Enduro Cross side of it, right? They could have, like, Enduro Cross, which is not necessarily, like, super trail, but it's, like, 10 miles maybe indoor enduro cross. Kind of doubt they'll do that at this point. I think they're kind of done with the indoor stuff, which I'm okay if they're done with that for right now. I want them to get more outdoor, more like national DLC or fucking, you know, outdoor trail DLC, some real trail stuff. Be super cool to see that. I know some people were kind of speculating it might be a track editor. I don't really think so. Saw a couple of comments on that. I highly doubt that. I think she's going to be more just a trail style DLC. That's what I personally think. I could be totally wrong, but I feel like if just by the way that Instagram vid is and all that, I just feel like it would be you know, a little bit more obvious if it was going to be like a track editor or something like that, or whatever some of these other people are kind of proclaiming that it's going to be. I just feel like it would be more obvious of that stuff if it was going to be like that. So, but yeah, we'll just have to wait and see, man. Hopefully it'll be like another fairly cheap DLC like the Arena Cross was, but it like comes with maybe, I'm just kind of, you know, ballpark estimating, maybe it comes with like 5 or 6 brand new full-blown trail tracks that are maybe like a 10-minute apiece lap times or something cool like that. That'd be sick to see that. You know, it's like, be like, you know, 10-minute, maybe 15-minute trail tracks. Maybe there's like 2 different trail runs per, oh my God, dude, super realistic. It'd be cool to see, you know, maybe like for each one of the new sort of outdoor biomes they put in there, maybe they've got like 2 tracks, 2 different kind of trail tracks per thing, and then maybe each one of the trail tracks you can have like a reverse version of it too, so maybe it comes like 12 tracks in total, but half of them are like the reverse version of certain trail tracks possibly. You know, they could make a lot more content out of less content, if you know what I'm saying, because a trail track is a lot more fun to ride backwards than like a supercross track. Like, who the fuck wants to ride a supercross track backwards or a motocross track backwards? That's going to get old pretty quick. So with the trail thing, it's like doing that backwards, it makes a lot more sense to actually have reverse versions of that and stuff. So, but I would love to see like at least 3 new biomes. That'd be sick. You know, have like the super standard woodland like they showed in that video. That was cool to see that, because this game currently doesn't really have like super standard woodland. And I know that seemed kind of confusing when I say that, but because this is woodland right here, but it's not like, I don't know how to explain it. It's not like the, let me see if I can think of it in my head how to explain it. Like the standard pine trees with the standard green grass. This is almost more like, this is more like a fall vibe right here, right? And then the default sort of free ride little compound that you start off in this game is not like super standard woodland. So it's cool to see that new biome that they have going in that little Instagram video for it. But we'll probably see some more information coming soon on that. See some more stuff coming for it. But I think with some of the way people felt about the Arena Cross DLC, I think they're really going to try to do something big here. You know, they're going to try to really make something cool. So it'll be really interesting to see that. And yeah, it's because of all of us, you know, voicing our opinions over these years and really trying to tell them, like, hey, you know, we want some of this in the game. We want that in the game. We don't like this. We like that. You know, that type of stuff. It allows them to, you know, put that user feedback in and try to figure out better options for the games. And that's really what it's all about at the end of the day, man. Like, when you get to the point where you got a voice, it's just, you can do a lot with it. And I'm not saying you even have to agree with me, right? Like, you can totally disagree with everything I've ever said, and that's cool. Like, free country, freedom of speech, it's what it's all about, bro. I'm not trying to say you can't disagree with me. I'm just saying, don't act as if I'm always just hating because I disagree with something in a motocross game. It's just not. You got the wrong picture if that's what you're thinking. You got the wrong idea, buddy. And I'm telling you the honest to goodness truth when I'm saying that. You're getting the wrong thing. You're getting mad because I'm disagreeing with you, so then you're acting as if I'm just hating on the game just to hate on the game, and I just don't want the game to succeed. That's really what's happening. Even though you're not going to admit to that, that's what's happening. Because why else would you be thinking like that I'm just hating on a game? Like, I'm not, dude. I'm just trying to make it better. I go off of pretty standard, oh, this is what we usually get in motocross games. This is the amount of content we usually get. You know, this is the kind of stuff we used to be able to expect or whatever. And so then that's what I base it off of. It's not like I'm asking for this insanity level of whatever, or like this like completely unimaginable, unreachable sort of content design or whatever the case may be, or like physics design or whatever it may be. It's not like I'm even asking for that. I'm just wanting the games to be as good as they used to be. That's all I'm even asking for in most of these videos, dude. So it's just like, man, you know, I don't know. That's all I have to really say on that. But as far as the trail tracks, it'll be cool with the whole water skim system. Maybe they've got a couple areas where it's like, it'll be cool if they can somehow mix like logs and rocks in the water. So maybe it's like you kind of go down a little river, or you like, you guys know it kind of may snake through some areas like that. And then you got to not only like skim the water, but skim the water and jump rocks and certain stuff like that at the same time. And so either way, it looks promising for that. I don't even know if that's really what it's going to be, or there's really no telling. There's a couple different things it could potentially be. Could be just one new free ride track, right? That's possible. Could not even really be actual raceable trail tracks. It could just be like, I don't know, some new bike, something going on with the bike. I kind of doubt that, like I said before, but hopefully it's more of what we're thinking, more of what I'm thinking, the kind of true trail hare scramble. And that's a big thing, man. Like the GNCC stuff. That's really what I'm trying to talk about. GNCC style, you know, if you've ever seen any of those videos and stuff, man, that's kind of trails I'm talking about. There's kind of multiple different types and layers and stuff of different trail styles in real life motocross, because trails, there's no limit to what you can do. You can have literally anything. You know, you can make a trail track in a desert environment where there's no trees. So there's so many different type of stuff you can do with it, so it makes it to where some games kind of depict it in different ways. But I feel like if you are on a biome that's more of a like woodlandy, got the trees, they need to be close together. That's my biggest sort of want out of it. But if they do happen to go in there and make like maybe a winter biome or a desert style biome of some sort, they'll just have to make it more skill gapped in the like maybe rock areas, you know, like a rock hill climb on a desert map, or a canyon jump down a hill, or something cool like that. You could still make it work even if without trees. You could still make a really cool trail track that doesn't feel super basic, like you're on some super flat feeling like you're just holding the gas down, that's all you're ever doing. You know, you got to have a little bit more to it than that, I feel like, on a trail track. But that's just me. So either way, appreciate you guys watching all the videos. Later, dudes.